All right, hi there, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to continue solving equations, except we are going to be incorporating distribution. This is another review for you. Remember, our goal, and I didn't mention this last week, but our goal is to prepare you for algebra. So these are some of the skills that you guys need to have in order to be successful when you start algebra next school year. So let's look at this. First of all, remember, when you have distribution, that means multiplication. That includes parentheses. So in this case, we have 2 times x plus 9. So one way you can think about this is you can draw yourself like a little multiplication table and say, all right, well, 2 and then x plus 9 can go up here. And that means you're going to create, like, you're going to be multiplying. So 2 times x will give you 2x. And then 2 times a positive 9 will give you 18, or a positive 18. So when you rewrite this, it would be 2x plus 18. This would be your final answer. Let's look at another one. Here we have 4 times negative 2x plus 8. So we would, again, you don't have to draw that table. If it helps you stay organized, you're welcome to do that. Remember, everything gets multiplied times 4. So this would be negative 8x plus 32. This would be our final answer. Of course, there's no equal sign, so we're not solving for x yet. We're getting there. We're working our way up to that. Now here's another one. This one's a little bit tricky. If you notice, there's a negative sign hanging out outside of the parentheses. That's like saying negative 1 times 7x minus 1. So basically everything inside the parentheses changes sign. So now we're going to have negative 7x plus 1, because you multiplied everything times a negative 1. Again, that would be as far as we can go with this one. Now let's get to solving. Here we have 18 equals 3 times 2x minus 6. Now I know that some of you are going to be a little upset about this 18 being out front. Remember, you can always rewrite this way. The equal sign is about balance. So if whatever's on one side of the equal sign can move to either the beginning or the end as long as it stays together. So let's go ahead and start solving. So I'm going to multiply first. So 3 times 2 is 6. So 6x. 3 times a negative 6 will be a negative 18 equals 18. Now we just have a two-step equation. We're going to undo our order of operations working backwards. So I'm going to add 18. So we end up with 6x equals 36. Divide by 6, divide by 6, x equals 6. Now keep in mind that if you solve and you're like, oh, I'm not sure if that's correct or not, go back and substitute that 6 in by checking. So here we're going to solve. I substitute the 6 in for the x. So 18 equals 3 times. So this is 12. 12 minus 6 is 6. So there's that. So 18 equals 3 times 6, which is 18. So it works. I know in the past we would plug it into the calculator and the calculator would tell us true or false. But this is what the calculator is doing for us. All right, let's try another one. Here we have negative 8 times 2x minus 1 equals 36. So let's get to work here. All right, so let's distribute what we have, the negative 8 to everything inside. So this would be negative 16x plus 8, because negative 1 times negative 8 would give us a positive 8 equals 36. So now I'm going to subtract 8 on both sides. Remember, we're undoing those operations, so that cancels. So I'm left with negative 16x equals, let's see, 28. Now we're going to divide by a negative 16 on both sides. So we're left with x equals negative 28 over 16. Now I know the 16 was negative, whatever, but either one can be negative. It makes the whole thing negative. Now I notice that 28 and 16 are both even, so that means I can simplify by dividing the numerator and the denominator here by 2. Do not go to a decimal, ladies and gentlemen. Just leave them as fractions for now, unless directions tell you otherwise. So we're going to be left with negative 14 over 8. Now, I guess I should have divided by a larger value. So let me backtrack. It looks like we can actually divide by 4. Totally missed that train there. So let's divide by 4. So negative 28 divided by 4 is negative 7. 16 divided by 4 is 4. So there's this. So negative 7 over 4. This one is a user-friendly decimal. It's okay to go to a decimal when it's user-friendly, but remember, when we have repeating decimals, that's when it gets a little yucky, so we don't want to do that. All right, now this is 1/2 times 2x plus 12 equals 7. So I'm taking half of each of the numbers in those parentheses. So half of 2 is 1. Now keep in mind, you do not need to put a 1 in front of the x like this. You could just write x plus half of 12 is 6 equals 7. Subtracting 6 on both sides, x equals 1. So that takes us to where we need to be. Remember again, if you're not sure, if you're like doubting yourself, go back and substitute. So we have 1/2 times 2 times 1 plus 12 equals 7. So 1/2, 2 times 1 is 2, so 2 plus 12 is 14. So half of 14 is 7. So 7 equals 7. That works for us. All right, last one. I want you to try this one on your own, and then I will display the work here in just a second. All right, so here it is, x equals 5. And when I substitute 5 back into the equation, 5 minus 3 is 2. 2 times 9 gives us back that 18.